Hello and welcome to day 6 of our 12 days of Christmas. Today I feel like building a snowman. Well, I'm going to stamp the snowman because there's not enough snow to out. I'll make a card. Here's my starting point for today's card. It's a stamp set by Dare to be Artsy. It's called Snowman, appropriately. Number S12064. I love how they did the belly. And incidentally, you are not limited to a snowman because this ball with some writing in it can also be used as an ornament because they give you that little gizmo that you put on top of an ornament to turn it into an ornament. I'm doing a snowman today. All right, before I get to stamping, let me show you all the pieces of cardstock and paper that you're going to need. I have a vanilla cardstock or cream colored cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11. I folded that in half at the 5.5 inch mark. So obviously this is going to be our card base. Next I have a piece of pattern paper, and this one measures 4 1/8 this way by 5 3/8. And then I cut it on the long end at 3 3/4. So I have 2 pieces, and then I can use the reverse side. And that piece of paper is by Authentique from their Believe collection, and that one in particular is called Pleasing. Then I have a piece of red cardstock that measures 3 3/8 by 4 5/8, and another piece of vanilla cardstock that measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. For the cream cardstock, I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and this is one of the pieces that's remaining, and I'm going to use this as my paper to stamp the snowman. So whatever you have left over, use that for stamping. First, I'm going to do my stamping, and on one block I have the body, the face with the hat, and the arm that is holding the star. And I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo black ink for this. The reason why I'm using this ink is because I plan on using one Copic marker, actually a couple of Copic markers, to color in some of the areas of the snowman. So I'm going to stamp that right here. I just need to leave some room for the scarf. Next I have the scarf, which I want to stamp in red. For this I'm using Vermilion Archival ink. Now if you plan on using Copic markers to add some dots inside the scarf or on the scarf, I would suggest that you use a red Memento ink. I just don't happen to have one at hand, so I'll be doing my dots a different way. So I'm just going to stamp that right here. Now that most of my stamping is done, I can start coloring, and I have the following Copic markers: B000, Y18, and YR07. I'm coloring before cutting because it's just easier. I'm just going to do very, very basic coloring. Now it's time to cut out these pieces. Okay, so here are all my pieces for the snowman. I cut them all by scissors, but the belly of the snowman, I wasn't brave enough, so I ended up using a 2.5 inch circle punch. It's a little bit larger than the image, but that doesn't bother me. You could probably also find one of your circles spellbinders that will match this, but I just used what I had on hand. Before I assemble the snowman, I have some stamping to do on this piece. First, I'm going to measure approximately where I want the snowman to be. I'm just going to leave it like that for now, and I'm going to stamp the arms, especially the one with the star. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that the snowman kind of needs to be more towards the side here. He might not have a right arm, depending on how you look at it, or an arm on the left side. but I want this guy here. I want to stamp the, excuse me, the arm with the star. So I'm gonna bring back the tuxedo black ink. I'm gonna ink up the stamp, and I want it right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that. And also I want to stamp some snowflakes. So I'm going to use the Tumble Glass Distress ink, and that's going to meet up with a little bit of the blue on the snowman and the blue of the pattern paper in the background. I don't want too many because it's already quite busy as it is. Actually, I'm going to take the smallest of the snowman. There's a lot going on here on this stamp. All right, I think that's about enough. I'm going to glue this cardstock onto the red mat. Next, I want to connect these two pieces. I'm going to flip them over, and I'm just going to use regular Scotch tape. This is just temporary. It's not going to hold the card together. And I'm going to glue this on top right here. This is a glitter tape from Forever in Time. This is the same tape that I used yesterday, or in day 5, for the Hanukkah card. And I'm just going to add this across, kind of like covering the separation line from the two cardstock, or the two pattern paper, I should say. I'm going to trim the ends. Like so. And now I can glue this piece right onto the card. Now I can start building the snowman. I think I need another snowflake here, so I'm going to add one right here. I'm going to add, of course, some glitter on this, but before I do so, I'm going to stamp the sentiment inside, and I'm going to take the one that's in that stamp set. I might add a few snowflakes as well inside with tumble glass. To add some glittery accents, I'm going to use a clear jelly roll because I have some very, very tiny areas. And there we go. Now if I move the card around, you're going to notice the amazing shine of that glitter pen. I love it. Love it. Here at the bottom on the star. Now, do you remember when I was talking about that belly and how you could turn it into an ornament because they have that little gizmo on top, for lack of a better term? Well, I just played around with it. Look how gorgeous this is. I used some mix of wow powders that I had in my stash. I believe this is probably platinum with a little bit of sparkle in it. Look how gorgeous this is. And I also used the holographic embossing powder by Ranger on the red cardstock. See it? Isn't this fun? This is for a completely different look. Very, very classy. So that concludes our day 6 of the 12 days of Christmas already. We're halfway through. Unbelievable. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow for day 7. I forgot how to count for what.